The secret to Tesla is Elon Musk said, let's just take a clean sheet of paper and rethink the car. And let's see if we can re-engineer it better with software and do something different. He broke the mold. What if I said, I'm going to just re-engineer the idea of money, clean sheet of paper, and I'm going to program it to be better. The monetary expansion rate went from about 5% a year to 15% a year. And we actually expanded the money supply by 24% a year in the US this year. I went from not caring to realizing that we're going to lose about 15% of our purchasing power every year for the next 4 to 5 years. A block of 500 million in cash looks like a melting ice cube. And it felt like highly certain that we were going to lose half of that money in 36 to 48 months if we did nothing. There is inflation. There's inflation in everything that you want to buy. It's just not tracked by the Fed. The inflation measure that the central bank tracks is a market basket of consumer goods and services that do not include the highly volatile food and energy. In what universe do you live in that you can live without food, energy, or assets? That the popular media, mainstream media, and the central banks, they're making a lot of noise about no inflation, and they're lamenting the lack of inflation, and that's the excuse to lower the interest rates and print money. But the point is, why in the world would you actually be concerned about the rate of inflation of a market basket of things you don't need? Inflation is a vector. It's not a scalar. It's not one number. And you can have any number you want between minus 10% and plus 30%, depending upon what you want to put in that basket. I think that the big challenge every investor, every person on earth has right now, all 7.8 billion people, their big problem is, where's my store of value? If I double the amount of currency, but I keep the assets and the goods and services constant, then that means everything has to go up by a factor of 2, right? So everybody needs to find a store of value. And a lot of people are using Tesla as that store of value because they have more faith in Tesla stock and Tesla than they have faith in the federal government and this, the Federal Reserve and the central banks. A lot of people are using Apple and Amazon as stores of value. So how do I find something which is ultimately scarce that feels like gold that you can't create any more of? And that's where you find a crypto. And if you basically designed a crypto network that was 21 million gold coins and you couldn't produce any more, and then you could audit it every 10 minutes, and then if you convinced $350 billion worth of money to buy into that network, you would have Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, in essence, becomes the first digital monetary network. It's the Facebook of money. It's like all the gold, none of the hangover, all the good parts of gold, but none of the bad problems with gold. And it's sitting on a big tech network like Facebook or Google, and you can plug into it. Like no one's ever going to plug gold into an iPhone. You're not going to punch a button and buy 10 bars of gold on the iPhone. But PayPal and Square have plugged Bitcoin into the iPhone. So Bitcoin is programmable synthetic gold. And if you're trying to find something that is scarce that's going to float on the pool of liquidity as the Federal Reserve and the EU Central Bank print more money, the answer is a crypto asset network. The issue is, why not one of the other 10,000? Will it be copied? Will it be banned? Or will it be hacked? And Bitcoin is at the point where it hasn't been hacked in 12 years. It's been copied 10,000 times, but it's the winner. So you pick, it's like not Friendster, it's not MySpace, it's not Yahoo or AOL, it's the Facebook or the Google. You got to pick the winner. Once something is hundreds of billions of dollars and 20 times bigger than the next like kind thing, then it's the winner. And it's clear it's not going to be banned. It's built into PayPal and Square. There's a senator, there's a congressional caucus. If I put a bank account on a mobile phone like cash, then I've got free checking, magic bank account. If I plug it into Bitcoin, I have a savings account in cyberspace run by incorruptible software that yields 100% interest tax-free. There's two ideas that are new ideas that most people, 99% of the world doesn't understand. Bitcoin is rotating this year from the old insight narrative, which is it's an uncorrelated speculative asset traded by retail traders on offshore exchanges with leverage that's kind of cool. It's rotating to a new insight, which is it's the world's best long duration investment grade safe haven treasury asset. It's something you're gonna use to give money to your grandchildren. If you want to have money 30 years from now, 60 years from now, then this is the ultimate long duration safe haven asset. Is a big idea because you go from 1% of the people betting 1% of their money to 100% of the people betting 50% of their money. Like there's $300 trillion worth of monetary energy sitting between bond stocks and real estate. Half of it just wants a store of value. It's a savings and loan in cyberspace that's available to 7.8 billion people where no politician can steal your money. There's another idea though, which is this is the first truly engineered monetary network in the history of the world. And by that I mean, it's a closed, thermodynamically sound monetary system. If you put $100 million in the system, it's like charging a battery. It has no power loss. You can store it for 100 years. It'll still be there. Every other monetary system has a power loss in it. It bleeds energy. You know, if you put your money into electricity and store it in a battery, you'd lose 2% a month. You have 24% inflation rate a year. So what if I wanted to store all my monetary energy and I didn't want to lose it every month or every year or every decade? Well, I design a closed system, 21 million gold coins. None come in, none go out. All I can do is heat it up or cool it down. That's the definition of a thermodynamic closed system. Bitcoin is the first example of that system. What that means is that you can collect all of the monetary energy in the world, store it in this battery, hold it for 100 years, channel it through time and space with no energy loss. It's an engineering breakthrough. If I said to you, what if I decided I was going to have a city with roads in it? Good idea, bad idea? How about my house is going to be wired for electricity? Good idea, bad idea? Or I have a company, we're going to be on the internet. It's not risky to be on the internet with electricity and have running water. These are not risky things, but they were pretty crazy ideas before we had the internet, electricity, and running water. Bitcoin is a monetary network. When Jack Dorsey plugged Square into it, he plugged Square into the monetary network. PayPal is plugged into the monetary network. MicroStrategy plugged itself into the monetary network. Bitcoin is Facebook for money. If Facebook's worth $1 trillion because it stores the social energy of 1 billion people or 2 billion, Bitcoin has got to be worth 100x that much because it's storing the money of 1 billion people. When Rupert Murdoch shows up to Facebook, he doesn't bring 1 billion friends. When Rupert Murdoch shows up to Bitcoin, he's going to drop $1 billion on the network, like immediately. If Tesla puts $1 billion into Bitcoin, they'll double their money within 12 months. The higher the price goes, the better it gets, which is the opposite of most companies where the higher the price goes and the higher the stock goes, the riskier it gets. The higher Bitcoin's price goes, the less risky it gets. Bitcoin is a union in cyberspace. It's a monetary union. The sooner you join, the better you are off. And as people join, it gets more powerful, and and the price goes up. So if you're Tesla, you want to be first because Apple will pay twice as much, and then Google will pay twice that much. It's going to go up in value as the Fed and the EU central bank prints money. If they print 10% more money, you're going to get 10% more value because the supply is capped. It's going to go up in value as people stampede to adopt it. The consumers are stampeding to adopt it, and also as corporations stampede, and as institutional investors. You got insurance companies, you got hedge funds, you got corporations, you got individuals on PayPal and Square. That's going to drive adoption. And the third reason it's going to go up in value is because technology is going to keep upgraded, and pretty soon it'll get built into Apple Pay and Google Pay and Alipay and Amazon. The secret to Tesla is Elon Musk said, let's just take a clean sheet of paper and rethink the car. And let's see if we can re-engineer it better with software and do something different. He broke the mold. What if I said, I'm going to just re-engineer the idea of money, clean sheet of paper, and I'm going to program it to be better? If Apple were to build a crypto wallet into the secure element of the iPhone and really support it with integration to Apple Pay in a nice native fashion, and if they were to then to adopt Bitcoin on their balance sheet and start to buy some Bitcoin, they would generate $100 billion in shareholder value in 12 months. Think about how loyal we are to Apple because we got our photos on it, or our messages on it, or our movies on it. What are you more loyal to, all the money you own or your photos? We've really just gone through the first mobile wave, the wave of mobile communications. The next mobile wave is money, all of it.